Van Kemenade.
We're in the bantamweight division. Samir Safali, Azerbaijan in the blue corner. Johnny Tuma from Sweden in the red. And Safali looked to tie up straight away, but he's having to eat some big knees from Tuma from that position, Dean.
Tuma very explosive with the strikes. Excellent outside trip. Immediately looks to pass straight to mount. Safali now looking to try and secure the half guard, working his way to the full guard here. He recognises that he can't let Tuma pass. He's got some excellent power, some great ground and pound when he gets to side control.
And as you said, we saw from Samir Safali yesterday, he had to do things the hard way. He's got a good defence on the ground. We saw that again yesterday as well. Very durable and able to grind out. And he's now trying to lure Johnny Tuma back down to the ground. And looking at Tuma's body language, yes, he might look for that sudden jump, but no. I think with that power he showed, and especially with the knees, he'll want this upright for that little bit longer. Oh, that right hand as he closes the distance so quickly, Dean.
The way he fires that knee in as well. The tire pump clinch, controlling the head, pulling the head downward. And of course, he can only strike to the body, so he has to be careful that those knees don't go too far high. A jump guard from Safali. He really wants to take this fight to the ground. He leaped into guard there. He's going to work his way up, potentially for a triangle or an armbar. There's the armbar attempt here. Tuma sensed that. Pulled the arm out of position. Now he's looking to land some ground and pound. He's got to pass the legs in this position, however, now.
Now, both men tactically doing the right thing, Dean, but in terms of the tactics succeeding, you've got to be looking in favour of Tuma at the moment. As I said, I think it was the right thing for Safali to jump guard. He was eating those knees, he was eating those shots, but Tuma's having none of it, and whenever he gets the opportunity, he gets his man back upstairs, and Safali off balance with that spinning kick, looking for the heel with that kick, but again, it gives Tuma the chance for that plum clinch and those devastating knees.
Tuma, very, very good in the clinch here. His Muay Thai techniques are excellent. You can see the way he's gripping around the back of the back of Samar and underneath the arm. He's controlling the head. That's a Muay Thai technique there. And that's to slam the knees in at close range.
Yes, he's creating the space for those knees left and right. And Somali, he's taking them well, but he can't afford to keep taking them across these 3 rounds. And then again, Tuma knows when to disengage as well. In terms of tactics, he's winning the tactical battle in this opening round. Scissor kick on the right hand, and these right hands hurt Somali. He's looking to throw back, and that's why I knew it hurt. His normal instinct is to level change and to tie his man up, but when you're stunned like that, you just throw the punches back instinctively. That rocked Samir Safali.
The pace is slowed here as we close to the last 10 seconds of the round. And Tuma fighting a very smart but powerful fight. He picks his power, punches and knees, and he's working great up against the cage.
And what I loved about that opening round is both men set out their stall, both men had their tactics and the right tactics at the right time. For us watching it, the difference is who could make those tactics work for them. And for me, it was Tuma in the red corner.
Yeah, Tuma did a better job of kind of bullying around Safali in the clinch, working those big power punches, close range.
He wasn't lured to be tempted to try the ground and pound when Safali wanted to bring him into his guard. For me, there was if that heel had landed, that's it, but it didn't. And look how quick Tuma is to capitalise on this. And there's those knees. He creates the space from the plum clinch.
There's the danger of throwing those techniques. If you miss, you're almost certainly off balance and on one foot. And that enabled Tuma to drive forward and use the plum clinch again, sinking in the knees.
We're in the bantamweight division. Samar Safali, Azerbaijan versus Johnny Tuma from Sweden, who is in the red, Safali in the blue. And we had a very intriguing opening round where both men looked to get their tactics working for them, but it was Tuma for us who dominated, keeping it upright. Spinning back fist again by Safali, but Tuma, the range master here, upright for me. Honestly, always looking, there's the round kick as well. and not tempted by Safali when he goes to ground to look for the ground and pound, but a nice little right hand return from Safali. Let's not write him off, upright Dean.
That one swung through, he tried it again and just completely missed and went down to the ground now, finds himself on his back, very heavy hips from Tumar. Tumar now it's going to look to pass the legs, potentially use the cage there. Safali working the legs here and doing a great job of keeping a barrier up between him and his opponent, and those barriers are his legs. That's why Tumar has got to pass these legs to land some heavier strikes.
Well, in these occasions, we've always seen Tumar with options, and there's been a couple of times when he's just stopped and walked away, and he's got that option again, and here he is, he's on his feet, and you get a feeling that he might once again say, no, come on, get up. There you go.
And that's going to say something to the judges as well with regards to control. Like even if they're not going to score that, they're going to see that and be like, you know, Tumar is really controlling this fight. He's dictating where he wants it.
And again, that knee set up for the takedown. But this might benefit Safali for the first time, Dean. Even though it wasn't him that initiated, this is where he'll feel more comfortable from what we saw yesterday.
We saw he weathers the storm and he digs down deep, but he's got to be careful about being on the bottom here and just holding onto the arms and the full guard, because with Tumar on top of him peppering these shots and he's losing the fight.
Yes, Tumar, as we said, we mentioned that important word, control. And again, here he goes up, and now he does go for the ground and pound for the first time in this fight. And again, when you talk about the judges, the way he shrugs off Safali trying to go for that arm, the way he shrugs him off to get back down again, it's almost disdainful. He's really telling the judges, look, I know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm in control.
Safali having difficulty skipping that leg round. The second he moves his hips, you'll notice that Tumar follows his hips. So imagine the hips square onto each other, facing each other. That's exactly what you want to stay out of submissions. As soon as somebody gets an angle on you, that will expose an angle for your arm to be submitted, or indeed a submission to be attempted from the bottom here.
Nice ground and pound attempts again from Tumar. He's in an enviable position where it doesn't have to be too accurate. It's just showing the judges who's in control, who's working hard, and again forces Safali to come up. Kicks, Safali grabs the leg nicely for the first time. The best position Safali gets is on the buzzer.
And now he's tasted that. Let's see if he tries to catch those kicks and work that takedown. That worked really well. As soon as he could get a limb away from Tumar and drive him off balance, he ended up on top and he immediately looked to pass the mount. And looking from Safali from his back, he's very skilled in jiu-jitsu. He knows when to invert, he knows when to skip round and potentially look for the armbar. A bit sloppy from the bottom with regards to holding down Tumar, but I mean, Tumar's a powerful man. It's difficult to hold him down. So I'd like to see Safali make those adjustments there. And there's the right hand that missed and put Safali on his back. Made him eat a couple of shots here from Tumar.
And it's almost the disdain that Tumar shows. He's really saying to the judges here, this is mine, and this is the hope for Safali for the third round, because I got him 2 rounds down on my own official scorecard.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Malcolm. And Tumar did a great job of controlling. I mean, right at the end of that round, now that Safali's got a taste for that, let's see if he tries to get a takedown and end up on top.
We're in the bantamweight division. Samar Safali from Azerbaijan in the blue corner, Johnny Tumar from Sweden in the red. We're 2 rounds down. We're here in the third and final, and they've been 2 dominant rounds, mainly upright for Johnny Tumar from Sweden, with a hint of hope for Samir Safali at the end of the second when he caught the kick and had really good control on the ground, but right on the buzzer. And Safali needs a big round, Dean.
Yeah, he needs to catch that leg again and look for the takedown and end up on top, see what we can do from there. The legs are coming out, that lead leg's coming out. If you can time that correctly. And again, oh, beautiful single leg takedown. Gets the takedown, punishes the legs, and immediately backs off.
And look at the arrogance of Tumar. He's saying to the judges, look, he almost even looked to the judges there and nodded, as if to say, look, this is me, I'm doing this, and you're going to get up when I decide. I'm not playing your game. I don't need the ground and pound. I'm in control of this fight. I don't need to go where you want me to go. Come on, get up. There you go. Smiles at his opponent. Can't fault the man tactically across these opening 2 rounds and the first part of this third round. Oh, and again, we saw him jump into guard previously, didn't we?
Yeah, Tumar dug under for those underhooks. Safali used the opportunity to jump guard again, but he's got to be very active off his back here. You could argue that he needs a finish, he needs a submission from the bottom. Looking for the triangle there, and Tamar's posture is just a bit too reactive for me. Safali's going to have to be very tight with his submissions. He's going to have to break down the posture completely of Tamar, then work the angle and stay very heavy with his legs. He can't afford to just kick his legs up in open space without controlling the body of Tamar.
But you were right in what you said. The reason he jumped guard there was he knows he needs a submission. He was looking for, as we saw, he was looking for the triangle immediately, but it's against a very difficult opponent to do that at a pivotal point. And again, that right hand of Tamar smashing into the side of Safali's face. As we said, the young man is durable. We saw that in his last bout, but he's against a different type of aggressive striker here.
A very active ground and pound artist in Tamar. He's picking these opportunities to come up and go to the body and the head.
And he's been very aware of what Safali has to offer. When you mentioned about you weren't convinced that it would be easy for Safali to get that submission because of the way that Tamar reacts when he's on the ground.
Yeah, his ability just to feel when he's in danger, when to posture up, when to keep his weight down and stay out of those submissions and not give Safali the space to secure them. You can see that by the way he's driving his hips in. Tamar is following the hips. Watch him, he squares his hips off
and he did the same again. Yeah, I saw that, Dean. He immediately did that with him again and kept that same position. It's incredible the way that man, this for me has been possibly in this bantamweight division over the 3 rounds the most impressive performance by an individual. He's going to be a handful because on the ground he's so good defensively and with his ground and pound, and upright he's a dangerous striker, and that says it all.
Looking for the back foot off the cage. Very athletic Tamar, very happy with his win. But we'll see what he has to offer later on in this competition.
Well, what it's done for us, as I said, Dean, is I'm almost certain, having done my calculations there and looking at the card, that we've got Sweden, Bulgaria as our 2 semi-finals, and the permutations from that are absolutely fascinating. But for me, just as an individual performance across 3 full rounds, hardly put a foot wrong.
Yeah, he did everything right, apart from getting his leg catched and taken down briefly. But yeah, he did a great job of utilising what he's good at: dominant top pressure, heavy strikes.
And again, if you look at him from here, he's got that almost like that restless physique, but very good upright and a very good striker. And he's in no doubt who's won this. And I think if you look at the body language of Safali as well, I don't think he's in any doubt either. But David Bassant will make it official as he comes in to the cage here.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. They read 30 points to 27 points, 30 points to 27 points, and 30 points to 25 points. Your winner by unanimous decision, all in favour of the red corner from Sweden, Johnny Tamar.
Well, that was a shutout, and with one judge it was even more emphatic than that, Dean. That was as controlling as you will get in this bantamweight division in that last bout, and the timing of everything he did really impressed me. And as you said, the way he could turn defence on the ground to offence as well, the way he was in tune with what his opponent was trying to do for submissions.
His ability to shut down a gifted grapple off his back and stay up submissions whilst working ground and pound safely was very impressive to watch.
That's the thing we've seen before, Dean. You work the ground and pound and suddenly you say to me, Malcolm, he's got to be careful, there's the armbar there, or there's the triangle there. Never seemed in doubt for this man.
Even on the feet here, as we've seen from the replay, watch how he throws the leg kicks and immediately gets his arm up to block that wheel kick. Storms straight in with his big punches to close the distance.
But the timing of that storming, waiting till he was half up and half down, and then knowing that his man was off balance, that's what's impressed me so much. And the nonchalance with which he does it. He is in total self-belief here in this zone, and rightly so with this performance. Look at that timing again for the strikes. Yeah, a dark horse.